What's up, beautiful people? Greg Larnard here, back in the mix. We are back for another edition of Chatt It Up Sports. I'm so happy to be back. It has been way too long, many long weeks on the road, traveling, baseball, softball, different things happening in my life. I'm just happy to be back with the boys. Unfortunately, we are not in the foundation tonight. If you're watching via video, if you're listening via audio, obviously you have no idea what I'm talking about. But via video, we are not in the foundation. We are going to be virtual tonight. And tonight we are getting into, or today I should say, we are getting into a couple of teams that are looking to potentially jump ship from their current conference to the SEC. Everybody wants to be be a part of the SEC and the bigger piece of the pie because obviously money drives everything. We've got a big baseball game going on at Bristol Motor Speedway that's going to set some records and a mega deal between the sports leader and the NFL Network. That's next right here on Chatt It Up Sports. Yeah, we're back. And again, welcome to Chatt It Up Sports. Again, I'm Greg Larnard. Find us all over social media at Chatt It Up Sports, wherever you get your podcasts as well, at Chatt It Up Sports, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the good stuff. Again, wherever you get your podcasts. Before we bring in the co-hosts for this show here today, let me quickly give you a shout out, or give a shout out to our sponsors, Barra's Cabinet Refinishing. They've been a Chattanooga staple since 2016. Check them out. Mention Chatt It Up Sports for 5% off your job. Again, Barra's Cabinet Refinishing. Check them out, barrascabinetrefinishing.com. And our friends over at Steel City Brand. Fantastic company. I know they're based out of Pittsburgh, but they've hooked us up. You will see one of their shirts coming up here in a moment. If you're watching on the video stream of this podcast, you can check them out, shopsteelcity.com. And at checkout, you can use the promo code ChatItUp15 for 15% off your online order. Do it now. Thank us later. Let's jump in with our co-hosts here this evening. Speaking of the man, the myth, the legend who is rocking the Steel City shirts, Mr. Joseph Guthrie, back with us once again.
What up,
from
baby?
His house in parts unknown of Georgia. It's good to see your face again, and good to see that shirt, dude. It looks great on you.
Thank you, brother. Welcome back officially. This thing is incredible. I'm gonna be honest with you. When we got it, I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be a pretty good t-shirt. No, this is quickly like shot up the roster for like go-to t-shirts. It's made it through the wash a couple of times. No tearing in the stitches. Hasn't shrunk at all, which is huge because I have a big problem with t-shirts becoming crop tops. Struggles with being tall. Big fan of the t-shirt. Probably going to order some more, and everybody listening should too.
When you think of a crop top athlete or football player, most notably, and I know you're a big college football guy, and those are like big, like in the mid to early 2000s. Like, who's the guy that you think of?
Probably Reggie Bush.
Okay, I was gonna say I think of Zeke.
Oh, Zeke. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Zeke's probably one of the more iconic ones. I remember Jabril Peppers tried to like pull that off a little bit at Michigan too, but I don't think he caught quite the same level of spark that Zeke had. Zeke's probably one of the more notable ones.
Yeah,
at least
that's
from
the one,
like the 2000s.
Yeah, that's definitely the one that I think about, and how the mighty have fallen when it comes to Zeke and being a running back in the National Football League. My gosh, if you don't stay on top of it, dude, like you fall fast.
Yeah, especially at the running back position, and like people or the league doesn't seem to want to give you chances. You're just expendable. They're like, oh, we can find somebody else to tote the rock. Like, and if we don't find somebody this year, there's definitely somebody in the draft that will take your position.
It always seems like there are a couple of guys that you'll find like in the 3rd through 5th, 5th, or 6th rounds that you kind of just grab and that like come out of nowhere and become starting running backs. Like the guy that I'm most notably thinking about is Aaron Jones, formerly of the Green Bay Packers. I think he was like a 5th round pick out of UTEP, and became, a star running back. So it happens. Teams are always looking to mix and match All right, let's get our other co-host in this evening. He's coming to us also from parts unknown in his apartment right now. Mr. Drew, what's up, Drew?
What's up, guys? I'm excited to be on. First virtual show. Going to be an experience. I can't believe I figured out how to get this to work without having to get on support with IT with Joseph. But yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, we gotta work on the backdrop. We gotta get the background a little bit
Yeah.
better for you, both you and Joseph, eventually. But
Yeah, it's
yeah. When I move, I'm moving into a 2-bedroom, and I know I haven't really gotten the chance to talk about it on the podcast yet. But I've got a new job. I'm going to be moving to Florence, Alabama. He's a new hitting coach for the softball team there at University of North Alabama. So we're excited about that. And I got a 2-bedroom, and I'm really excited to have like an office space with my second bedroom, and just like, since I'm not going to be able to come into the foundation anymore, just set the background up like you see on these big shows with a bunch of different sports memorabilia and whatnot.
Oh yeah, dude, it'll be sick to have, like, you can have jerseys hanging up, flags hanging up, you can have signed helmets. Like, hey, made it down to our other office at work today. Found a Lane Kiffin signed Tennessee football.
Wow.
Real
Yes.
hot commodity.
What trash can did you get that out of?
It was left in an abandoned office. If that tells you anything about how valuable that thing is.
Well,
I
to
thought
some
about
Tennessee fans, I'm sure Miggy would love that. He loves Lane.
dude. He was the first person I thought about. I was like, I wonder if Malcolm would want this, because I don't think it'd be hard to just kind of like ask if I could take it. I don't think anybody'd fight me over it. We'll see.
Try it. Yeah, I would.
We'll see.
100%. Even if you found it in a trash can, abandoned offices, it don't matter. Somebody will appreciate the Lane train sign. Was it a Tennessee football or just a regular?
It was. Yeah, no, it was just it's a Tennessee. It's got the power T on one side and it's got Lane Kiffin's signature on the other side.
Nice.
So, or well, I don't know if it's his actual signature, but it's like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like one of those like stamped on
A
ones.
stamp of his signature. Like, yeah, it's probably either one.
Probably pretty worthless either way.
Yeah, it's probably not. It's probably worth less than the trash can you would throw it in. If I
Yikes. Anyways, there we go. Okay, switching
Yeah.
things up a little bit. Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk some college football. We throw around some topics in the group chat every once in a while, and there was something interesting that popped up this week. I know in the ACC there was a settlement. There was a lawsuit brought on to the ACC from Florida State and Clemson, and there was some rumblings that they were very unhappy about the revenue sharing, and then obviously Florida State got screwed out of the college playoff berth a couple of years ago. And I don't believe they got screwed. I think they committee got it right, if we're asking me on that one. But they felt like they got screwed a little bit. And so that kind of forced them to readjust sort of how they do things, and, the media rights deal and whatnot, and giving the schools that bring in, more revenue or more viewership to make a bigger piece of the pie. And so they've got their new deal. And sometimes, everything is kind of happy at this point, but there's also been some more recent rumblings about UNC not being very happy where they're at and wanting to potentially jump ship to the SEC. Now, there are some problems with this, because we know the penalty to leave early, to exit early, is a substantial amount. I think it's like 100 and I don't know. Joseph, do you know the number off the top of your head? I think it was like 175 million or something like that.
Yeah, it was close to that number if they left like right now. Like, I think
Yes.
it was 171. So back when they ended litigation, Florida State, Clemson, and the ACC ended litigation back in June. And I think the projected number for this year was like roughly 171 or something like that. It was an outrageous number for what Florida State and Clemson are receiving in terms of like their media rights payout from the ACC. But that number drops, and I believe you were going to get into that in just a second, in 2031?
2030, 2031. Yeah.
The 2030-2031 year football season, that number drops to 76 million.
75,
which is 75 million, which is still a ton of money.
Yeah. Like,
that's still a lot to have to pay out. So the thing I'm thinking about the most, specifically with this coming back up because UNC, and we're hearing about North Carolina wanting to move to the SEC, is you got to think about why they'd want to do it. Well, obviously the SEC is a very hot commodity in terms of sports, specifically college football. So member institutions are getting a lot of money for their media rights deals, like 52.6 million or something like that, roughly. So you got to think, if you're one of these other schools in like the ACC or the Big 12, or rest in peace to our Pac 12, you're already behind the eight ball because of that. Because you're just not getting as much money because your conference just isn't worth as much in the eyes of television networks. They're just, hey, you don't bring in as much viewership. We're not going to pay you as much for rights to stream your games. So you got to think about, they're already behind the eight ball in terms of that. So these schools see that and they're like, well, why don't we just go over there? Why don't we just join them and we can erase this deficit? Because you're in a world now where athletes are getting paid, NIL deals, you're funding collectives. And now with this whole employee thing and the NIL go and the 20.5 rev share, you've got to come up with more money. If you're a school and you want to take part in this rev share, you got to come up with an additional 20.1 million. And from what I've read about that, that number is going to go up over the years. So it's 20 million now. In 2031, it could be 40 million, maybe even 50. So you've got to find a way, if you're a North Carolina or if you're Clemson, somebody who kind of hangs their hat on, we want to be a team that competes at the highest level of college football. You got to make up that gap, because as these numbers go up, your numbers aren't going up like that for the ACC, because the conference just hasn't been great as a whole.
Yeah, really. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, I just when the topic was first posed in our chat, like about the two teams, I didn't initially think about more on the side of the everybody wants to be in the SEC. I kind of thought to the ACC, and how like it really has been Clemson and Florida State carrying that conference for the last however many odd years. Like, I'll be honest, I ignore most of the ACC for a good chunk of college football season, and that's not to disrespect them. That's just because it's normally not worth your time to get into the Pittsburghs and the Dukes and the it's really hard to keep a pulse on everything college football. And I feel like the greater media landscape does the same thing. It's like ESPN probably are not going to give press to a Virginia football game or a Virginia Tech football game. So I don't blame Clemson or Florida State one bit for maybe just kind of looking for the greener pasture or something like, hey guys, this has been us. We've been doing this year in and year out. We built these programs, and now Clemson basketball has come a long way. But the one thing, and I'm glad Chase isn't here because I don't, I'm about to go after UNC a little bit. UNC athletics is now I get it. You get Belichick, you get all the big names over there on the coaching staff. You get the news stories coming out. I don't foresee, and sorry, I hope you can still hear me. I don't foresee UNC being as valuable as Clemson or Florida State, because UNC basketball has been rocky, and UNC football has been Mac Brown for the last few years. I would like to see UNC, before they think about jumping ship or whatever they're going to do, at least put a product on the field that is that is worthy of the best Florida State or Clemson seasons that we've seen in recent years.
You mean California? The Cal Bears don't excite you from the ACC?
No. Stanford, I don't really want to watch Duke or Stanford play each other for the battle of the smart institutions. I get that was a program-saving move by both of those schools when they did it, just to kind of stay afloat money-wise. But no, I mean, it's really hard for me to look at the rest of the ACC and see where they stack up against Clemson and Florida State.
Well, of course, I was just being tongue-in-cheek there. Obviously, nobody cares much about the California Bears. So the Cal Bears being in the ACC. What, Joseph?
Hey, listen, somebody's got to hold it down for the 3:30 Cal versus Duke game, okay? And I'll plant that flag, dog. Like,
well, you're a special individual.
I am a sicko.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm a college football sicko. So
Yeah. That I think it's important to be more specific because you're not a
yes.
sicko in general,
Not a
but you are
sicko. Just
football.
yes, because dude, I mean, like, I would love for Pac-12 after dark. Like, I know it would suck because they're both, East Coast schools, but like Wake Forest, give me Wake Forest Duke at like a 1 a.m. I'm down. I'm in, dude. I mean, it's totally sick, but like, I miss Pac-12 after dark, man. I miss it so much. I miss it so much.
You might get like a Cal Stanford.
Maybe I'd take that. I'd take Cal Stanford, dude. I'd take like Cal Fresno State.
At this point,
10:30 p.m.
you're just itching.
kickoff.
You're just itching for college football, so you
Oh,
take anything.
listen, it's almost August. We're almost there.
We are on the precipice of the college football season. Now, some other interesting things that I was when I was kind of reading into this story a little bit, I wanted to bring up to you guys. We talked about it, Joseph, you mentioned it, that 2020, 2030, 2031 season, the penalty for leaving goes to 75 million. That's the exit fee. And then that's what it stays at until 2036. So we're all sort of pontificating that if those schools and any other ones, if the SEC would have them, because I think the SEC would have those schools, would want to potentially jump at 2030, 2031. And again, they have no reason if they can afford the $75 million buyout, which I'm sure all of these schools can, because as you just alluded to, with the revenue sharing and everything they'd get from the SEC, they'd make up the difference of that money easily. But another thing that I was kind of reading that was interesting, because a lot of people, and I'm sorry about this, Drew, because I know you're a big Commodore boy, but a lot of people were talking about the bottom half of the SEC, like, okay, if we're going to get these other schools that are a little bit more, brand, big or whatever it may be, why can't we just get rid of, can the SEC boot out the lower tier of schools that don't really, compete at the highest level? And I know Clark Lee's done a really nice job over there at Vanderbilt. But it seems like people within the college football world, and Joseph, I'm sure you can kind of talk on this a little bit more as well, but they believe that the conferences would, and I quote, never, end quote, boot out less competitive schools, no matter, again, how competitive or non-competitive they were, they would never get the boot. So that begs the question, okay, if the ACC sort of gets decimated a bit, do we have super conferences? And if we have that, I've heard people talking about, okay, maybe multi-tiered leagues where we've got like the upper echelon division, like the Division A, and then maybe the less competitive division within the SEC when there's so many teams of Tier B. Joseph, I'll start with you. Give me your thoughts on something like that, or you and I, all of us were talking about off the air, maybe a potential promotion relegation system within the SEC or just college football in general.
Listen, man, as much fun as relegation would be, and especially if they did like associate leagues where it's like the SEC and your relegation league is the Sun Belt, and this is the Big Ten and your relegation league is the American, or so on and so forth. I don't think it's ever going to actually happen. And I think part of that is because at the end of the day, as much as it might suck, most of this is about money. And most of this is about money for these member institutions. And no one's going to take less money. Hence why your comments earlier about no schools would be booted. Yeah, no, I think if you're a commissioner, or if you're a league and you make that move, you turn the knife towards yourself. Where it's like, oh, the league, the member institutions of the league, if they're like, oh, you're going to do this, so at any point in time, you could just deem us not as valuable and kick us out. Yeah, no, we're not going to take that. We're going to either vote you out, or we're going to move over here. We're going to start our own league and we're going to make our own rules. Like, I think you would see that before you saw some kind of member institutions getting removed. Obviously, if there's extenuating circumstances, that's different. But just to like boot somebody based on dollar amount value, I don't know if you'll see that. But I think as far as the Super League comment, I don't know if you would ever see interconference divisions where like a division, like say you did you went back to the SEC having an East and a West, and like the West was Division A and the East was Division B. I don't think you'd see that. I think probably what you would see is more along the lines of like the Big Ten and the SEC, if they acquired some more institutions and they kind of got to a point where the ACC couldn't stand on its own and the Big 12 couldn't stand on its own, and we'll throw in what will be the Pac-12, couldn't stand on its own. They would probably take the Clemson and the Florida State, and we can take like Utah, and we could take like Arizona and Arizona State, and we'll kind of form this like 45 team NFC AFC model with the NFL. And you would have the Big Ten and the SEC, and they would be the big boy leagues, and then everything else would kind of fall under this like group of however many conferences, kind of like we have now, where it's like you have the Power Four, even though two of those are significantly more powerful than the other two, and you have the group of five. I think you would see a model more like that, where it's like, hey, this is Division I college football, and everything else is like Division I AA.
Yeah.
So I think that would be more likely than the SEC being like, okay, you schools are this good, and you schools, we think you're this good, and you're going to play for relegation, and because I think the money would be too confusing to divvy up, and the last thing you'd want to do is have a school be like, well, we got $60 million last year. Yeah, we kind of had a down year. We ended up getting relegated. You're telling us you're only going to pay 40 now? Like, no, we're just not going to deal with that. So ultimately, I think you have a better chance of seeing some kind of like NFC, AFC league model with the Big Ten and the SEC forming some kind of super league than you would having like, hey, we're the SEC and we have our B division and so on and so forth.
All right, quick break. Let's give a little love to one of our sponsors, Steel City Brand. If you're from Pittsburgh or just love that blue-collar grit, Steel City's got you covered. Literally, from vintage sports tees to iconic Berg designs, their gear is bold, local, and built to last. If you happen to be in the Pittsburgh area, check out their stores locally, or more simply, head to their shop online, shopsteelcity.com. To rep the Steel City in style and use promo code ChatItUp15 for 15% off your online order. Steel City, built with blood, sweat, and steel.
Yeah. I mean, first off, I'm good with getting rid of Missouri at any time. I mean, we can get rid of them, and I won't lose an ounce of sleep over it. But
Drink just got a new contract, did he not? He got a new contract extension.
Boy, the alpha nerd just got an extension, man.
Mm-hmm. It's your boy.
8-4 till 2034. No, I kid. But yeah, I think if you were to do something like that with a Vanderbilt, for example, getting kicked out of the SEC, or say you're the ACC and you got a hot team that's coming out of Conference USA or the Sun Belt, but you can't figure out how to make room for them. I mean, that's just lawsuit central. I mean, it's over and over again. Like, I mean, it's going to tie everybody up in litigation. Nobody's going to be happy with getting kicked out. And I think to Joseph's point, he hit the nail on the head. Like, the more powerful member institutions, I mean, maybe they have a few down years and now they're not getting paid what they were expected to bring in every single year. They miss their revenue goals. They have to make cuts here and there. You can't pay as much in NIL. It's such a slippery slope when it comes to actually getting rid of those teams, even though in practice and theory, it may make sense for some of these conferences.
Hey, if you want to stay around, just be better. Just perform better, right? You don't want to lose your revenue share. Just be better. Sometimes it's that simple. Joseph, we lost your mic. I don't know if you muted.
No, I did it. That's how I felt about the 14 playoff model. Was like, just be better.
Yeah.
I got overruled there.
Well, like, are you saying like you didn't want that many schools?
No, I thought the 14 playoff 14. Was yeah. 6 was perfect. Sorry, we're not going to get into that.
It's more fun that way. It's more fun to have more schools involved in the playoff. I don't want a ton. I'm not trying to say like it should be like the NCAA, March Madness bracket or something like that. That's insanity. I'm not saying that because football and basketball are much different sports, obviously. But no, I like where it's at right now, and I like the current playoff model. It seems fun. I think once we kind of get the reseeding and stuff down, it'll be better. I think after year one, they've ready to make some changes and say, hey,
Yeah.
We understand what needs to happen to be better, and we're going to make it be better. So they're doing that, and that's really exciting when it comes to that. It'll be interesting to see what happens in college football. Just to kind of throw this out there, Big Ten's media rights deal is up in 2030. The Big 12 is 2031, and the NCAA's $8.8 billion March Madness agreements with Turner and CBS are up in 2032, as is the college football playoffs $7.8 billion deal with ESPN. So, right around 2030, 2031, 2032, we could see, college sports and college football more specifically, maybe a little bit more of college basketballs as well, kind of be a little different than we're used to seeing. So, but speaking of ESPN and football, they look like they're nearing a deal to acquire NFL media, including NFL Network and Redzone, potentially for around $2 billion. Yes, B with a B, billion dollars. The deal could also involve the NFL taking a minority stake of up to 10% in ESPN. This potential merger is seen as a significant move for ESPN as it launches its direct-to-consumer streaming service. What say you, Joseph Guthrie, on this big sort of merger between ESPN, NFL Network, and NFL Redzone? I think a lot of people are afraid that their favorite program come NFL season might be effed with.
I mean, if Scott Hanson's not there, we're gonna bite it to the ground. Yeah, I mean, it's Scott Hanson or nothing. Like, if you try to take him and put Stephen A. Smith up there, dude, I'll never watch another ESPN. Nope, not gonna happen. I don't know. I mean, I have the same gut feeling that everybody else does. I feel nervous about Disney acquiring something else because they already have so much, and it's my personal.
They are
opinion.
The sports leader.
It's just, it's my personal opinion. The last few things that Disney's acquired, I don't know if they've necessarily gotten better. It's just my thought. But
what about Pat McAfee's show? You think it's gotten worse?
I think it made ESPN better. I think Pat's show is the same.
But it made ESPN better, though.
Yes.
So they made a smart move by acquiring Pat McAfee.
Yes. Yeah, that they did. They did. I'll give you that. But I don't know if the last thing that Disney acquired that they made better by buying it. Like, yes, ESPN, that was a smart move to buy Pat McAfee, and their smartest move was to not mess with the show. Yes. So, like, if they acquire this, they get NFL Redzone, and they don't touch it, golden. You're good. Why mess with something that's already had success? But I've seen this story, and not just in sports, just in too many times where something that's great gets bought, and then it gets changed. Because it's like, they work with it for a little while, and they're like, oh, this has had success, but we can make it better. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, just leave me Scott Hanson, leave me 7 hours commercial-free football, and you'll be okay. But it's like you spoke about in the article. I don't think ESPN Plus has been the success that they thought it would be, because I don't think.
You don't think so?
I don't think it. I know
it's been pretty damn good. Like, and it may not be because, like, hey, it may not be like these big sporting events, but I think what it's done really well, and this is me being, like the mid-major college, program, that like it brings video and it brings exposure to a bunch of smaller schools.
It does, which are great, and that's not the angle I'm taking here. Is that that's bad? The angle I'm taking here is that I don't think it's had the success that ESPN thought it was going to have. So, like, I don't think that, no offense, because we all like sports, so we're all into those sports. We're into watching these extra sports on ESPN Plus. I don't think they've had the draw from non-sports fans that they thought they might in having a cheap subscription service where it's like, hey, you can watch all these other sports all year round, and they're just right here in ESPN Plus for you. Yeah. So I think that's why they're like making this move where it's like, if we can acquire NFL Redzone, we can really make this ESPN streaming service a hot commodity, because people are already wanting to pay for Redzone. So now they'll pay for the ESPN app so they can get Redzone. That feels like that's their strategy, which, yes, I am willing to pay for Redzone, but it's $10 with my YouTube TV subscription.
Yes.
Not $30 for another separate streaming service.
Well, you hope they bake it into this new direct to consumer venture that
It's implying that they are.
Yes.
Yeah, it's implying that they are.
They'll
But
probably upcharge a little bit instead of like ESPN Plus being $6 or whatever it is now. They could make it 10 or 15 because now you're getting NFL Network, NFL Redzone, but Red Zone is only, seasonal.
Yeah, and here's the problem with that. I could go to NFL Network and pay for an NFL Network subscription, and it's $17 a month, or I can add just NFL Red Zone to my YouTube TV for $10, and that's all I do because I only want Red Zone. So that's the issue, where it's like if ESPN bundles all of this together, and they're like ESPN Plus and NFL Red Zone, it's like that's great. I was getting that for $15 last month. Now it's $30. Like that's the disconnect for me. Is that's like, hey, I'm not getting anything else. It's just located somewhere different, and now I have to pay double.
Yeah.
You get what I'm?
It's repackaging. It's repackaging the same service.
That's what it is. Because like as the consumer, Red Zone doesn't change for me. Red Zone has not changed at all. It's just on ESPN Plus now, and I'm having to pay more for it. Like that's my big concern because I already don't pay for ESPN Plus because I buy it kind of seasonally. So like I buy it when baseball gets hot. Like that's really where I want to follow on ESPN Plus. It's like I want to watch the softball tournament. I want to watch softball games. I want to watch baseball. But then for the rest of the time, I'm kind of like not really an ESPN Plus consumer because football's what I want to watch. Basketball's not on ESPN. So like don't really need it there.
I mean, unless you're trying to watch the UNA Lions softball team.
I will be.
Good point.
But that's the problem is like the product doesn't change in terms of value added, but the price changes in terms of how much I have to pay.
Right.
So like, what else am I getting from this ESPN app? Because if it's literally just, hey, you're getting Red Zone and ESPN Plus together, that's not worth it to me.
And NFL Network, which again you already receive with your YouTube TV subscription.
Well, here's the thing. So when you buy the NFL Red Zone add-on, it's only like $10. But say I didn't do that and I went to the NFL Network and paid it's $17.79 or something like that, and then went and bought ESPN Plus, that's still cheaper together than this ESPN app is $30 a month. So like as a consumer, what am I gaining? Yeah. Now, if you're telling me you're going to expand what's on ESPN Plus and you're going to be like, hey, you can go watch the like 4:00 or the 3:30 SEC game that's not like the main ESPN channel. Like you can watch ESPN2 games, ESPNU games. Now, if you're telling me I can do that through this ESPN app, then I can kind of see the value added. But if this is a glorified repackaging of ESPN Plus with the NFL Network and Red Zone, I'm not a fan personally.
Yeah, I mean, you get NFL films. They're talking about NFL.com, NFL app, NFL Plus, things like that. So like, it'll kind of just, as Drew said, you're sort of like repackaging it or repurposing it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's because they, if their numbers look better on subscribers, that's better for ESPN. So and I don't blame them for doing this because this is something that will sell your app. The NFL Red Zone will sell your app for sure. It's just going to suck having to pay more for it.
Right. You think ideally they probably start off with a more attractive deal as a show of good faith. I think that's probably what the marketers will end up telling them, like, hey, you sell this for $12 a month. Your first run through this would be implied that it is going to go back up, after this football season ends. But I do like your idea of having extra games, even if it's like you get access to further NFL games that are, because there's sometimes I can't watch the Falcons in Chattanooga and it drives me nuts. There's some times where the Falcons are just not available, and I'm not a Titans fan, but the Titans were downright awful last year. They had the first overall pick. I don't want to just be restricted to the Titans, and then whatever is going to be the local in-market game. on Fox and CBS. So if you're telling me that they can work out something to where there is just more NFL on there, like with NFL Redzone, then man, I'd be all over it. But I also struggle with the fact that like Monday Night Football is not great anymore. Like the product itself really struggles. Like I think I think it's a downgrade from Sunday Night Football. It's nowhere near as bad as Thursday night. But
You're just talking about like the matchup strictly.
the matchups, I think that they've been like the matchups are not great. But I also like, is it Mike Tirico that's on ESPN?
No.
Is he?
No, it's
No,
it's
Joe
Troy.
and Buck.
Yeah,
Joe and Troy.
Yeah, sorry.
Troy. Troy.
Yeah,
Troy.
They kind of carry those games. Like for me, like there's no real reason. Like I remember a Titans Dolphins game pretty specifically from I think 2 years ago, and that has just felt like what ESPN Monday Night Football has become, is like another Thursday Night Football. There's rarely a matchup on Monday Night Football that means as much as a Sunday Night Football or even a 425 Fox game.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times when it comes to those nationally televised games, obviously you want to try to get what, most would consider marquee matchups. But I think also what the NFL is trying to do with their scheduling of that, and I know some teams don't really get, marquee, Sunday night, Thursday night, Monday night games. But the NFL is also trying to, I think, allow different teams to get that, spotlight a little bit sometimes. And it's unfortunate sometimes for us as the consumers because, most of us don't want to see Jacksonville play Kansas City or whatever it may be on a Monday night, or, the Colts versus the Lions or whatever it may be. I don't know. There's different matchups that aren't, very good that, we're just trying to showcase this one team. This is their one Monday Night Football game. And, I know some teams don't always get that, but yeah, the product kind of hasn't been as good. I know you mentioned it. Thursday Night Football is generally worse than Monday night. Sunday night's generally the best. But for me as an NFL fan, I'm kind of like a sicko when it comes to NFL football, kind of like Joseph is with college football.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit what the matchup is on Thursday, if it's good or not. I'm locked in. I just want football. I want to watch, for previously for fantasy purposes and things like that, and previously, like gambling purposes. Obviously I'm not allowed to do those things now as a part of the NCAA as an employee, but those things are always what I love consuming about. And give me more football. I wish there was football on Wednesday night, Thursday night, Saturday night, Friday night, whatever it may be. I wish there was football most days of the week. It's tough when it's just Monday, one game Thursday and then Sunday. I wish it was like Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. But again, that's me who grew up in the Northeast, paying more attention to the NFL than I was college football. Now, obviously, I'm living in the South for about 8.5 years now. I'm falling more and more in love every single day, thanks to you guys, when it comes to college football.
Just wait, man. One of these days, I don't know if it'll be this year, but one of these years, the longer you live here, eventually you'll find yourself Tuesday night Maction.
I knew it. Yes, I was going there.
Tuesday night Maction, baby. Like
Toledo,
the zip
Toledo, Western Michigan.
Dog.
Hey, I might be going out to some some ASUN games, with the North Alabama Lions.
There you go,
this
dude.
year. They got a new football stadium being built.
Yeah.
So it might be lit out there in Florence.
Just wait, man. Like eventually, as you delve more into college football, you'll become more of just a football sicko in general. Because that's kind of like I've taken the opposite track of you. So I used to be just a college football guy, did not pay attention to the pro game at all. Started playing fantasy. Some players I knew in college really followed, started getting into the league, and now I'm like, oh hey, Thursday night, Bengals without Joe Burrow, and they're playing the Dolphins with Tua out. I'm gonna watch this. I don't know why I'm going to watch this, but I want to watch this because you just become a football sicko. So you're going to take that progression, because I've taken it towards the program. You're going to take that progression, and dude, eventually you'll be watching Liberty and somebody playing on a Wednesday night. Yeah. And you'll be like, how did I get here? Like 7 minutes left in the third quarter. You'll be like, I don't remember how I got here.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be watching that. I'll be honest. Hey, it's going to take a little bit more time.
Everybody says that, man.
We all fall to the action.
It's just like
I just don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, they're not relevant to anything that we are going to be talking about, basically. So, like, why would I watch that? Why would I consume it? Like, it doesn't. Like, I have a deep seated love for the NFL. So, I don't give a shit. I'll watch any NFL game on any given day of the week. I just don't really care about Liberty and Old Dominion or whomever's playing, on a Tuesday night.
Oh, don't. Okay, listen. Don't get it misconstrued here. I'm not like saying I care. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh yeah, like I have emotion.
You love watching college football. It's like you care about these kids. Like I just don't know any. I don't, unless there's some like big name player that like, oh, we got to watch. I'm not gonna watch, because again, I do love football, but I don't care that much about college football. I just don't. And maybe you're right. Maybe eventually I will, but I just don't think I will. I just don't see myself getting to that point unless these podcasts just takes off beyond belief and we start talking about Maction and all this other godforsaken football across the country. I'm not watching Maction football on Tuesday night. I'm sorry, boys.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. We don't ever have to talk about Maction football on the podcast.
That's
what I'm just telling you, man. Like, what?
But you're still gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I don't care about it.
Not yet. It creeps up on you, man. And you're just like, because I never in a million years did I think like who was it? I think it was Liberty at Middle Tennessee State last year.
Yep.
I was watching on like CBS on a random Wednesday night.
Oh, you know what? That was Kennesaw.
No, yeah.
It was Kennesaw's first win.
They beat Liberty. Liberty was undefeated. That was Kennesaw's first win of the year, dude. I mean, like, okay, there's your storyline right there. Kennesaw hadn't won a game, and Liberty was undefeated. And Kennesaw pulls off this upset, dude. And the football was horrible. It was
so bad.
Exactly. Why am I going to watch this? I don't care.
I mean, it's like,
I'd rather watch some sort of sports documentary. I'd rather watch Full Swing. I'd rather watch some sort of murder mystery that hasn't been solved from the 1990s or, 1970s or whatever is on Netflix or Hulu nowadays.
Okay. For now. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
It's listen, it's a sickness, man. Okay. It's a sickness. And I'm infected. So Tuesday night.
Sounds like you both are. Sounds like you both
I mean,
are.
if they keep handing out these Maction parlays, it's going to be really hard for me to turn down the $10 50% boost. I mean, I haven't won a single one in 2 years, and I won't. I'll never win. I don't know anything. I don't know the teams. I don't know. I don't know the players, but it's about the action.
Again, if I were allowed to partake in those type of things, yeah, maybe I would watch and maybe I would care more. I definitely would. But I can't partake in those things. So again, if I had that edge to it, yeah, I would. I'd be all in. I'm sure I would, because that's what that does for people in random games. Yeah, it's a driving factor.
Yeah.
But I'm no longer allowed to do those things, so I will not be watching Maction football unless I'm hanging out with one of y'all and you guys got something riding on the game, and I just want to enjoy the game with you guys while you sweat it out, and I'm just enjoying, some popcorn and hanging out and watching y'all sweat and maybe enjoying some decent Maction Tuesday night football.
Oh, no, it'll be horrible football.
That's how we get him, to watch y'all.
That's how we get him.
Yep.
Yeah.
One time, you sit through a Maction game one time and some crazy ending happens and you're like, okay.
This is magical.
How
did I never watch Tuesday night Maction football in my life?
I can't believe I've been skipping out on 0-5 Akron versus 2-4 Bowling Green.
And the score's 17 days. And it makes no sense. You don't know if you miss any of the action, you don't know how the score got there. You don't know, how did they get 8 points? Did they get a safety? Score a touchdown? Did they go for 2?
They just crazily went for 2 out of nowhere.
Right.
Maybe the kicker strained his hamstring in warmups. Mm-hmm. And now we don't have a place kicker.
Dude, with these smaller programs like that, you never know what could happen. You never know.
But you know what I do know?
What's that?
is that Christian Wilkins is no longer a Las Vegas Raider. I sent this to y'all in the group chat on Instagram literally a little while ago. I don't know if y'all have seen this story, but it is kind of wild. A Raiders teammate filed an HR complaint over Christian Wilkins allegedly, playfully kissing him on the head in a playful manner. And this man has been released from the Raiders, and the Raiders no longer have to pay his $35.2 million remaining guaranteed money on his deal on June 4th. Like, it's crazy what is kind of going down. And it's incredible for Christian Wilkins. It's to me, it's kind of mind-boggling, but also it's just kind of like, this is the world we live in nowadays. Like, you can't be playful to somebody. Like, you have to be so careful because somebody could take it wrong, and then you could literally be out of a job.
I did not. I'll be honest with you. I had seen this. I had seen that he was released. I had saw a little bit about the story. You blindsided me with the kiss.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Literally, like, they're saying, like, he literally playfully went to kiss a teammate on the top of his head, according to Adam Schefter. Schefter.
That
doesn't sound right.
So I was about to say, who's
that's the
according
fake,
to Adam's
fake Twitter account.
That's the Adam Stifler. that's who's reporting the kiss. So I had seen the thing about his like rehab from his injury and how they wanted him to have surgery, and he like didn't want to have surgery, and because he didn't follow their like rehab program, they were able to release him with cause and like not have to pay him. But the kiss is news to me. I really want to know. I really want to know who it was on the Raiders now.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, this is like such a Raiders thing, I feel like.
Another bad actor in the Raiders fear. I mean, excuse me. I mean, like how many guys have they just like invested in now or just no longer on the team outright? They don't get any value for any of these guys. I mean, he's just gone. A hugely paid defensive lineman. Now they don't get anything for him. Now they don't have to use dead money, which is good because that's a huge bonus for them. But I mean, this is now like year 5 or 6 of the Raiders, either pre-training camp story or before, or just as the season gets going, where they just kind of just outright cut a guy, and like their investment in him is completely lost. And I know Pete Carroll's there. I think he will do better with the roster these years. But I mean, how many more punches can you take before you just stop investing? Or do they just not know? They have no clue that these guys are, anything like this.
We're going to get you back to the episode in 1 second, but first, we're going to give you a little list of sponsors. First, we are brought to you by Barra's Custom Cabinet Refinishing, a local Chattanooga staple for the past 24 years. Barra's Cabinet Refinishing is going to bring you the best custom cabinetry in the Scenic City. From custom cabinet refinishings that breathe new life into existing cabinetry to cabinet refacing and modification that transform and optimize the space in the home. Boys, I can tell you, I need that with a little one around. The people over at Barra's simply deliver the goods. So, for a winning team that's always going to bring you the best, trust Barra's, an official sponsor of Chatt It Up Sports. Head over to the website, barrascabinetrefinishing.com, to get your free estimate today. And if you tell them Chatt It Up Sports sent you, you get 5% off.
I don't know, not to make excuses for the Raiders, but I kind of feel like this is one you're I don't want to say surprised by, but you had higher hopes that it was going to work out. Now, the rehab thing, the Jones fracture and him refusing to have surgery or refusing to, that feels more like, I guess, on par with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
The kiss thing just totally
just for a little loop there, huh?
Just out of left field, dude. I know that. So in the ESPN article, it says that wasn't the sole reason that he was released, but by saying that, they're implying that it factored in.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure somebody will pick him up. He's just 30 years old or whatever it is. I'm sure he'll get another gig. But
yeah,
let's be honest, he's probably not going to make $35 million.
If you're Christian, like, yeah, it sucks, but I mean, now at this point, you're not going to make that money anyways. Like, what are your thoughts on going to play for like the Lions or like the Chiefs or somebody that's like a real, or like dear God, the Eagles?
Oh,
Like they need anybody else on the D line, and like, and seriously, just like ring chase.
yeah. I mean, you might as well at this point.
Right. I mean, is he going? I mean, I guess you got to ask the question: is he going to get the surgery, or is he just going to like? I think the thing I saw said he wanted it to naturally heal. So I don't know how long the Jones fracture. I don't know the doctor. I don't know how long it takes to naturally heal from that. But I mean, the teams kind of. I mean, because especially with HR complaints and anything like that, are teams even willing to take him now? Like I know that the NFL has a history of letting the second chance extend pretty far, but like seriously, especially with two factors, the injury and an HR working against. I mean, are the Eagles just like we're good? Like
I'm sure there's some teams that'll be like that.
Right.
And I don't know if your headphones died or something, but you sound a little more gurgly than you did before. Yeah. Did you notice that, Jay?
Yeah. I was about to say, check and see if your mic input changed. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do if you're Christian and the team stipulations now are like, well, hey, like we want you to come play here, but like you're going to have to get the surgery.
Yeah. Or
because then, I mean, then are you just going to retire? You could. You've probably made enough money, but do you want to? I mean, you had $110 million deal with $84 million left. If you can go out and prove it, if you can heal from this, and then don't be kissing your teammates, like you could probably make some of that money up, dog.
Yeah, he will. I'd be shocked if he decided to retire, but I just saw that kind of come across, and I just thought it was kind of interesting that was a factor. Obviously it's not the sole reason, but it was definitely a factor in him getting released from the Raiders here this week. So that was really interesting. Also, what's really interesting is there's going to be a baseball game played at Bristol Motor Speedway coming up here on August 2nd between the Braves and the Cincinnati Reds, and it is going to, I mean, it's on par to break the record for the most fans that have ever attended a Major League Baseball game. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like this record goes back to the 1950s in a game that was set. The record was set. The previous attendance record was set on September 12th, 1954, when Cleveland Stadium hosted the I would assume that's the New York. I don't know the tweet here cut off in the article, but hosted the New York Yankees. Yeah. Where they had a record 84,587 people in that in that game. And now we're looking at 85,000 tickets sold to date to the Bristol Motor Speedway. I know it's pretty close to us here, and you guys, I don't know how big of baseball fans y'all are. Drew, I don't know about you, but Joseph, I don't think you're a huge baseball fan. Is this an event that like you probably won't go this year, but like if they had it come back, depending upon how it looks or how it went, is that something you'd be interested in going to?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I guess to biases, I'd want the Braves to be. It's an interesting matchup because the Braves aren't great. And then I don't know how the Reds are better, but I don't know how good they are this year. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz is incredibly entertaining. Like, I'd like to go see him play.
Well, yeah. But I mean, you have good players on both sides. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz, as you talked about, you've got Acuna on the Braves side, and Matt Olson, who's in the home run derby, and Austin Riley and whatnot. And the Braves this week give Alex Anthopoulos a little bit of credit because I know they haven't been great. And I think they're trying to sort of make a push. They've had a lot of injuries and things like that.
Yeah.
Kind of betray them a little bit. They just traded for Eric Fetty. They just traded for Carlos Carrasco. And again, not the biggest names. And I'm nerding out here a little bit baseball wise, not the biggest names, but guys that are veteran starters and that can come in and fill some spots in that rotation. But I'll be honest, boys, I am incredibly excited to watch this product. I'm not going to the game, but I am all for going to a game in a unique environment, whether that's like an NCAA basketball game on like a Navy ship or whatever they did like a couple years back, or
Yeah.
you know,
Dude, that was so cool.
the volleyball game that like had like broke the record attendance wherever that
Oh.
was.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Nebraska.
in it was it Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Like in their Nebraska in the
Yeah.
football stadium or something like that. Like that's such
Yeah.
a cool idea to host a game there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for these unique environments and events, and I'm sure having a baseball game at a racetrack is going to be electric, and it's going to be really cool. And I know the baseball MLB has done some cool things in terms of, you know, having a Little League World Series type of game out there in Williamsport. They had the Field of Dreams game. They've also had the I can't think of the name of it's in Alabama. I can't think of the name of the stadium that they had it. It was like an old time baseball stadium that they repurposed and allowed. What's that called? Like it was like Ricketts or something along those lines.
Yeah, that happened this year, right?
I thought it was last year
or early last year. I remember what you're talking about, though, dude. I mean, I'm also down for like unique environments.
Rickwood Field, 2024. That's what it was.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of this, it's Bristol Motor Speedway, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, they're doing this game. They did the Tennessee Virginia game a few years too, right? So like Bristol's racking up just sporting events left and right. Wait, what are we getting a basketball game there next year? Dude, give me like what is the what do they call the basketball classic? The names escape me, but like give me Michigan State, Kansas, and Bristol. I'll take it. That'd be sick.
Make it like a Bristol, like a Raceway Classic or something like that.
Yeah, the Bristol Cup or something. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of different teams, bunch of different sports. Do a like Big Ten SEC challenge. Do football and basketball at Bristol. That'd be sick. I think it'd be sick. So
that would be pretty cool.
I just hope they've got the broadcast worked out. I mean, for how to shoot this thing accurately. I've never been to Bristol. Everybody that goes there swears by it. I want to go so badly to the Bristol night race one day. But for me, like I hope when I sit down to watch this thing, because I definitely will. I don't catch baseball often. I keep up with the scores and stuff like that. But when I do, like I just hope it's like you can really feel 85,000 people, what that's like to watch a baseball game at the same time. If Ellie De La Cruz does go, if he goes deep to center, like I hope you can hear every single bit of that engagement in that crowd. Because what I don't want is like, hey, it's on Bristol. Here's the racetrack that you can kind of see outside the field, and then it's just a regular baseball game. And then like the people who are there get to experience how awesome it is. But like if you're at home, you're like, oh, it's just another regular season baseball game.
I mean, I'll be honest. The field, I'm watching a little video of it right now. Like it looks pretty legit. Like there are going to be so many people, and like you said, Drew, like I think it's going to be lit if and when Acuna or De La Cruz or like there's a big moment that happens within that game. Like I really hope it ends up being a good game or a good pitching matchup or something along those lines, and we're able to see a good product not only there in Bristol Motor Speedway, but on television, like you said, the broadcast as well.
Really quickly, do we want to do 5 minutes on Traylon Burks?
Yeah. I know Chase is not here, but we can certainly run through the disappointment that is Traylon Burks.
Dude.
Oh boy. I mean, where to start? I mean, Joseph and I ran out a little bit before you got here, G. First off, something that neither of us, I guess, had recognized, or maybe we'd both forgotten. They gave up their own first-round pick in that deal. So when they made that deal, and I don't have the exact trade in front of me, but when they made that deal, the highlight of it is that they gave up A.J. Brown to move up 8 spots in the draft to take Traylon Burks. So already a big risk, a guy who had put 2 1,000-yard seasons down. He had a little bit of a down year in his third year. And not to mention, they won 12 games that year, the year before he was traded. They get rid of A.J. Brown. I guess they don't want to pay him. I don't really remember the narrative at the time.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay him because they had to pay what's his name? Sim and oh god, what's his name on the defensive line?
Simmons.
Simmons, yes.
Jeffrey Simmons,
Big
yeah.
Jeff,
Simmons.
Yeah. So they don't want to pay him. So they ship him out. They've since then, not if you just take Treylon Burks out of the equation, if you don't even think about him, they've had DeAndre Hopkins, Nick Westbrook-Akine was probably their most reliable touchdown target last year. They've been kind of middling. They lost Derrick Henry. They lost basically what would be the NFL equivalent of a franchise player. And not to mention Treylon Burks didn't go for 700 receiving yards in 3 years and caught one touchdown ball. I saw a stat that said A.J. Brown has more Super Bowl appearances than Treylon Burks has NFL touchdowns. And I mean, I get, injuries have played somewhat of a factor in this, but I mean, what a mismanagement of talent. I mean, I guess that's all you can take away is that the Titans management completely botched it for trying to get away with being cheap and taking a receiver on the back end to kind of patch the hole.
Yeah, it's real bad in terms of Treylon Burks and his ineffectiveness. And the trade was obviously they traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles for the number 18 overall pick in 2022 and a third round pick in 2022. That third round pick turned out to be Roger McCreary. Yeah, so not great in terms of Treylon Burks and in his career there. I know he had some issues with asthma and things like that, and like you're talking about, Drew, like just not wanting to pay that level of talent from wide receiver and how much they've struggled recently to acquire any sort of pass catching talent. It's one of the worst things, and that's why John Robinson no longer has a job. That's one of the main factors why John Robinson is no longer the general manager there. And I do think he had done some nice things in his time as Titans general manager, but that was certainly one of the low points, thinking and hoping and praying and wishing that you could draft a guy like Treylon Burks and he could be your direct replacement for a guy that was as talented and as much like a dog as anybody else in the league, like an A.J. Brown.
Yeah. They didn't draft an A.J. Brown replacement. They drafted a different type of receiver. So they weren't able to even kind of, Burks on his best day is not at all what A.J. Brown is. It never was slated to be coming out. And he just, remembering what I remember about him, was just supposed to be, was he a first round talent? Probably. Yeah. As I think there's a reason he went where he went. And looking at the receivers behind him, the only one that I really found an excuse to draft was George Pickens, who obviously had his issues and personality conflicts, why you don't bring him into the first round. But just really poor execution. And I'll let you go, Joseph, something we talked about. You don't have to take a wide receiver. If you just want to pay the position, why did you try to band-aid it to basically appease the position further down the road? Like you could have, we looked at it. They missed out on Karlaftis at pick 30. 12 picks later, they could have kept their original pick and A.J. Brown and had George Karlaftis.
Yeah, and at such a time in the league where, receiving and receivers have become such a focal point in success for teams outside of, the Chiefs. But Travis Kelce's still a pass catcher. So you're seeing all these receivers get this big money with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. So it's it felt like such a weird time to be like, hey, we're not going to go that way. And we don't want to pay A.J. Brown. And to see George Karlaftis just got paid. He just got paid. And I know listen, I've never drafted. I've never worked I'm not a GM. I've never worked in a front office. I'm just a dude sitting behind a camera talking about football. But when you're looking at players and you're breaking down potential, you're looking at okay, what are the chances that Treylon Burke replaces the production that A.J. Brown has versus us drafting Karlaftis and being able to not necessarily replace, but supplement our D line, and then if he does pop, have him on a rookie contract and keep AJ Brown. And I know, factor in hindsight, so that it's hard to think about that when you're in the moment. It's 2021. You're drafting. Like, it's easy to sit back and say that now. But man, in a time where the league, especially on offense again, is so receiver driven because the running back positions kind of just become expendable, to choose not to pay a top 5 receiver just feels stupid.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, because again, like, I mean, I've never been a GM, but it just feels like, hey, you've got somebody, you've got a guy. Not a lot of teams are looking for this guy, and you're just like, nah, we're good. We're gonna draft this kid who had 1,000-yard receiving, 1 year of being a 1,000-yard receiver in college, and he's gonna replace AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old, hey, potential. We see the potential, and this guy sometimes a little bit can be a little bit of a diva wide receiver. We know he's the big alpha dog, the whole thing, but yeah, I mean, it's silly. You have something that's guaranteed, and again, you want to keep your own talent that you draft. I'm sure AJ Brown would have been happy to be paid to be in Nashville.
Yeah,
and you send him out because you don't want to pay him, and you think, we'll just get a direct replacement for him. And like you said, like, where you could have drafted Karlaftis, and you could have had, you could have potentially paid a guy like AJ Brown. But again, we have the benefit of hindsight. Yeah. It's all different because GMs are always constantly trying to figure out. And I can imagine that being a general manager of any sport has got to be incredibly, incredibly difficult. I remember, like, just looking at some moves that Sam Lepresti has made for the Seattle Supersonics and now into the Oklahoma City Thunder that sort of led up to them winning an NBA championship. Like,
yeah,
talk about playing the long game, brothers. Holy shit. That guy.
It feels like that's similar to, like, the Mavs GM, where he was, like, getting cooked for trading
as he should. Luka
Doncic getting cooked for trading Luka. And then, like, now he's kind of bounced back with getting Cooper Flag, which I know is luck because of the NBA lottery.
But there's no Cooper Flag from the Titans.
It was rigged. The NBA draft is rigged. Like, we're talking about ping pong balls, frozen envelopes over the years, different things to allow these markets to not suffer when they lose a top level talent or one that needs to be revived. Like, I'm thinking back with the Knicks back in the day when they drafted Patrick Ewing with the frozen envelope. I fully believe that. I don't believe a lot of things in sports are rigged or staged or whatever, like, WWE, but I do believe that to some degree the NBA draft lottery is rigged. And I don't know if you can convince me otherwise.
I don't think you're alone on that. I have a feeling that you are not alone in that opinion.
There are a lot of, I will tell you guys this. I did sports talk radio in Louisiana for 3.5 years. There are a lot of Saints fans that believe that the NFL is rigged against them. And this is a team that we're talking about won a Super Bowl in 2009. There are many franchises out there, and I always gave them grief for this, to think that the NFL is rigged against them. There are a lot of teams in the NFL, boys, that have not even sniffed a Super Bowl, haven't been to a Super Bowl, haven't won a Super Bowl, all those things. So I love you Saints fans, and I know my roommate Jamarius is a Saints fan, and Miggy's a big Falcons fan, so he will hate me saying that. But I have a lot of love for those people in Louisiana and the Saints fans, but y'all need to shut up about the NFL being rigged and collusion.
They do have one of the worst missed calls in, like, recent history.
I know. I was there for it. I was in the building for it.
So it's like,
yes, the no call. It was terrible.
You had a generational, like, quarterback talent, Drew Brees. So, like, come on, man. Like, you.
Yes, and some people would look at that winning like one Super Bowl as a failure, but again, it's the New Orleans Saints. That is a team that used to be called the Aints, and Drew Brees brought them a Super Bowl. Like, like, people talk about Aaron Rodgers only winning one Super Bowl and how it was a failure and this, that, and the other thing. And I know he's my boy, but, like, You look at Dan Marino. He never even won he went to one. And he never won another one. It was even at another one. Your hair is going crazy right now.
Dude, I don't know.
Wow,
I don't
man.
know what's
It's all
happening.
over the
I don't know
place.
what's happening, dude. Like, and trying to flip it in the camera. Sorry to distract you guys. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's rigged. Not the draft. I'm talking about the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL. Exactly.
I can't speak about the draft lottery, but
I don't believe any sports, games or anything like that are rigged whatsoever.
as much as sometimes it can feel that way.
Sometimes it can. And as sports fans, sometimes we get a little emotional. And as my man Sam Dusenberry Jr. says, fandom is a mental illness in some way, shape, or
Got to
form.
cope somehow, man.
Oh, well.
Yes. All right. Last thing I wanted to get into with you guys. Mickey brought this up, and I thought it was a good topic to just maybe kind of end us on and to talk a little bit about. He said, after 8 years of service in Major League Baseball, players get what is known as a gold card, which is a lifetime pass to any game of the player's choosing forever. If you had your chance to use a gold card, what sport would it be for? Drew, I've been starting with Joseph a lot, so I want to give you the shine first. Go ahead, tell me what sport or what game you would use that for. What, Joseph?
Not to cut it because I want Drew to go first, but it's just a clarifying question.
Mhm.
So when he says gold card, it's a lifetime pass. Is it one game a year or is it any game? Like you can go whenever.
I think it's any game.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
I read this. You can go to any game. You can go to as many games as you want.
So you could go to all 162 games. That was all. That's all I
I
needed.
think so.
Yeah.
That's the way I read it.
Okay, that's just
Yeah.
a clarifying question. Go ahead, Drew.
Man, I thought about this. I went back and forth because on the one hand, you have to factor in travel and you got to factor in travel costs. So, I mean, that's for a former MLB player, that's maybe not a big a deal. But if somebody just hands me a gold card off the street and says, figure it out, then I've got to, I got to kind of budget my time, think about what's near here. So originally I was thinking NBA. And then I was like, that's not going to work because nearest is Atlanta. And I don't want to go to the Hawks all the time. And then I got, the other nearest is probably Memphis or Charlotte. And then, you kind of get to the end of that. I'm not into that, just those three organizations, just going to those. So then I was like, well, maybe I could go back to my fandom as a kid and then NASCAR. And then I thought about how many of those tracks are near here. And I was like, but you would get some bangers if you just went to, Talladega, Daytona, Bristol. Man, that would be awesome. But no, I settled on college football because I want to crush MTSU, Kennesaw State whenever I want, and then, or just whatever, But no, I decided that like it would be really cool to have the power to walk into a sold out Neyland Stadium, be like, I'll take one, please, no matter where it is. So yeah, I definitely went college football. I think it not only provides the most variety, but I think it provides the best. It's going to be the best entertainment value for me. I mean, I'm going to be able to watch, whatever SEC matchup I want to go to. So,
I mean, dude, there's no suspense in my answer here.
Nope.
There's no suspense in my answer here. It's college football. I think college football is the best sport on the planet. And dude, I mean, if you tell me I could go to a night game at LSU and I could go to a whiteout at Penn State and I could go to the Rose Bowl all in the same year and not have to pay for a ticket for it, okay, yeah. You take my left arm and I'll take the gold card. Like, dude, I'm telling you, to be able to knock all of these off my bucket list, like, yeah, travel would suck, but like, man, I could drive to Pennsylvania. It wouldn't be fun, but actually, it would be awesome. Because if I go to a whiteout game at Penn State, yeah, you tell me I could go to the game and watch Michigan, Ohio State? Yeah, I'm in. I'm sold. Like, no shot, no contest. Easiest answer of my life. Like, I'd go to as many. Now, picking would be difficult. Picking the game would be difficult because just the sheer amount of games there are. But I mean, if it's free, dude, I could just slam that gold card down and go. I'm going to hit as many as I can. Well, I guess it'd be, 12 plus the playoffs, but picking a playoff game would be tough too.
I think
Like,
go
Go ahead.
You could probably figure out how to get like 2 games in a day. Like if you thought about it like really hard, you could probably figure out how to get at least 2 in. Like if you caught a noon if you caught a noon game in kind of relation to where there was going to be a night game, I think you could probably. Would it be fun? Not really, but I mean, you could do it with the gold card.
I mean, just jump on the private jet with Herbie.
Oh yeah. Herbie, I got a gold card. Just take it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I could make. I could definitely make the clean old fashioned hate, and then the Iron Bowl.
There you go.
Because Georgia Tech got moved to like Black Friday, and then the Iron Bowl's on Saturday. So like go to Georgia Tech, and then drive to Tuscaloosa drive to Jordan-Hare because it's at Auburn this year, and then maybe catch a flight. Well, actually, I'd have to do that in the opposite because that's probably going to be. Oh, okay. Drive to Atlanta, watch the Georgia Tech game, get a flight to Ann Arbor, watch the game, then hop on the private jet to Auburn, Alabama. Knock all three out in the span of 36 hours. It'd be life changing. I'd die happy like that. You know what? Bury me. This is peak.
All right, so I completely understand where both of you are coming from when it comes to college football, and I was expecting nothing less from either of you. But my initial thought on this one, while you guys were talking, I'm thinking, oh yeah, like the NFL, easy. Like I think y'all were thinking way too logistically about it. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about it. Like I'll just go to every single Packers game. I'm just not even worrying about how logistically I'd get there. But then I'm thinking like, it also gets really cold in Lambeau. Like I don't know if I've done the December game, and I don't know if I need to do another one. Just being honest, I would maybe with my family or whatever, but like it wasn't. It's not an enjoyable experience. I can imagine a repeat experience of it. Continually doing it in the freezing cold is not the most fun thing in the world, and I also enjoy, just like literally as we all do, sort of sitting around and watching football all day on my television with multiple screens, multiple boxes, the NFL Redzone, the Octo box, what college football has now with you can watch multiple different games at the same time. So like, I think I like my Saturdays and my Sundays way too much to say, hey, I'm going to like go to games. I just enjoy sitting around and watching all of the games on television way too much. So I don't think I would choose either one of those. And then that leads me to either basketball or baseball. And honestly, I like baseball more. I think I would choose baseball and not worry about the logistics of how I'm getting to see Citi Field. I'm just going to imagine that I live in New York and that I can just go to a game anytime that I want. And I put out this thing about like the best foods at Citi Field, this season. And I'm like, I now need to go back to Citi Field because they've upped their food game so incredibly much. You can't get that at a basketball game unless the only way I would choose basketball is would you give me that gold card and you say you can sit courtside at every single Knicks game at MSG, then I'd have to do something different because that is an absolute bucket list item that I have always wanted to do and will always want to do when it comes to going to, a Knicks game. I've seen many Knicks games at MSG, but I always have wanted to sit courtside. I'm just going to have to make friends with that gold card with Spike Lee or something along those lines.
Yeah. See, that's what I wasn't clear on in the story. Like, is the gold card, like, do you roll up and they hand you 2 general admission tickets and you sit in the like in the upper deck for lack of a better term? Or is the gold card like, come on, gold card holder, let's go to the front row courtside, or here's the special gold card seats that we have set aside if any of our gold card members do turn up?
I would think you'd get some sort of I think you get maybe not like a top tier ticket because they want to obviously make money on those and sell them. But I also don't think you get like bottom of the barrel general admission. I would think like you'd get somewhere decent, lower level type of seat.
I would think it's probably somewhere between general admission and like a box seat, but also like you got to think about how many of these are given out. Like they probably have a special section for them. If I had to guess, especially if it's someone who played for the franchise. So like if you were a Braves player and you come back, you probably have your own like special box, I would think. Maybe not, but that's what that would be my initial assumption would be that it would be like a special section, not the best seating in the house because still want to make money, but pretty good because you probably made that franchise a lot of money. Now, if you're going to just some other stadium, teams you never played for, it might be a little different.
Well, again, from what Miggy said, it was all you needed was 8 years of service. So, like, you could have been like a very mediocre role player that was just on the team for 8 years.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's the way he put it was after 8 years of service in Major League Baseball.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's
a lot of golden tickets.
It's gotta be.
It's a lot.
It's gotta be. But again, once these guys are done with the game, I would think a lot of them are more concerned with maybe a life after baseball or whatever it may be, and starting or being with their families, or I don't know, just doing other things rather than going and spending all of their time at the stadium. So I think like they're probably not losing a lot on that because they probably don't take advantage of it that much. It's probably used every so often, but yeah, I'm sure it's like we were talking about. It's probably got to be some decent ticket that they can get that they will give to the player. Hey, thank you for your service. You're welcome to come back to any Major League Baseball stadium at any time.
Oh, so according to this article from InsideHook.com, it's regular season games, and it's also given to full-time front office personnel, general managers, marketing, public relation officials after 25 years of service.
Oh, okay.
The recipients have to show it at a stadium's designated VIP window, and the seats they are given are determined on a club-by-club basis. So it's not special seating, but you probably get like better than nosebleeds. So
I would hope so. For putting that much time into a franchise, like 25 years with a franchise, my gosh, in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's a grind.
The first, again, according to Inside Hook, the first gold pass that was ever handed out went to Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh,
it was 14 karat gold.
Hey,
and he never used it.
Come on, Theodore.
God, interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Very
cool.
interesting. I'm glad you looked that up. That was cool. I'm glad Miggy brought that up. I appreciate that, Mig. I know you're not with us tonight, but boys, this has been a fun show. I've enjoyed it. This is the first time the three of us have ever done a show together, just the three of us. I feel like it went incredibly well. I thought it was smooth. I love the conversation that we had. It's great to be back on the show. I miss you guys terribly. It was good to see you for a minute there, Drew, when we tried to roll into
we tried
the sauna that is the foundation.
Oh man.
But yeah, thanks for letting us down, Joseph.
Sorry, dude. I didn't even I feel so bad.
You know what's funny is like none of us thought of it. Like I literally walked into the studio and Chase was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have to use your laptop tonight. Joseph isn't gonna make it." I was like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah." He texted me on the side. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, plug it up. We'll do it." And maybe just didn't have enough juice.
Well, dude, I still it's something I mentioned to Chase on the photos. I was like, I still haven't adjusted to the fact that he doesn't have his MacBook anymore. I was like, oh yeah, Chase's laptop can run the show. And then like I thought back to the win totals, and I was like, oh yeah, Greg used his laptop. It was fine. It was not fine. It was not fine.
So that's why we are virtually for this show tonight, episode 134. For Drew, for Joseph, I am Greg Launard. Again, follow us all over social media at Chatt It Up Sports, wherever you get your podcasts as well. Hit us up there at Chatt It Up Sports. Comment, like, share. Tell a friend, all those good things. We appreciate you. We love you, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. We will see you on Thursday and or Friday. Peace and love.